So a side hustle is a business that you will start and operate while you're still employed. Yeah. You could, for example, be a teacher and you open up a business which you will employ people to be operating while you're still teaching. Most people start side hustles in order to maybe increase their incomes or as a hobby that you have. Yeah. So, what are some of the things that you should consider before and when you're operating a side hustle? Now, if this is your first time in this channel, we usually discuss insurance and also other related types of investments. So please like and also subscribe in order to help the channel grow. You can also consider hitting on the notification button so that you're notified whenever we do a new video. Now, today I want to tell you a story, a personal story, something that actually happened to me. Now, back in my younger days, about 10 years ago, I was in between jobs, but I also had some savings, some money I had set aside for myself. And I remember a friend of mine called me from home, mainly I'm from Muranga. So there was somebody there with a very good opportunity. And it happened that the person who called me, it was their neighbor. So this particular man, he was around 80. He had retired from the army for around 20 years. So he had a piece of land. And in this piece of land, he actually used to live at the top. And then at the very bottom, near the river, he used to do some small scale farming. Anything else in between was actually occupied by trees, all sorts of trees. There were mango trees, there were avocado trees, there was also some blue gum trees. So it was a bush. So this particular there was actually selling all those trees in that land. Yeah. And when my friends told me of the same, I thought of this as a really good opportunity since it wouldn't take some time. It would be like a week or two, and then I'll probably have my money. That's what I thought. Yeah. The younger me, that's what I thought. So I get into the car, I drive on to it, Muranga. And in Muranga, I actually go and physically see that land for the very first time. And I was actually impressed. We got into an agreement, and immediately I got into work. So I found some few people. I had around three power saws and some guys to for manual labor to actually help lift the logs. So my plan was to actually turn that land or all those trees into three things: firewood, timber, and charcoal. Yeah. Remember, I did not have any experience doing that. I had never done it in my whole life before. As in, I've seen charcoal being burnt like once or twice, but I've never ever physically done the same. But anyway, having spotted or noticed that this could be an opportunity to make some good money, I went on with it. So the firewood went really well. Yeah. So I cut off some of the trees. Some of the trees were chopped into bits, and we sold them as firewood to the factories. I made some good money. Also, some of the blue gum trees were converted into timber, and it was difficult at first selling it. But locally, I happened to find somebody who was interested, and I made money. But the problem came with the charcoal. That is a very difficult thing to do. As in, it turns out you need some special skills to actually um, burn charcoal. So I had to rely on some people to help convert the same. And see, it was a lot because in the end, we had around, I think, 66 bags of charcoal. Them. So it was a lot of charcoal. But I really had a nightmare dealing with those people. They were very expensive. Remember, I do not know how to convert that wood into charcoal. And at the same time, after we were done, two things happened that really affected my return. The first one was that the government actually made it illegal to kind of ban or cut down trees. It was during the previous government, and transporting charcoal became really difficult. Yeah. At the same time, I came to learn that the trees that I had converted into charcoal are not really meant to be converted into charcoal. There are some trees from Ukambani. I think people call them meda. These are the best trees to actually convert or burn into charcoal. You have charcoal made from avocado, mango trees. You really not make any significant income from the same. People don't like it. If they're buying the charcoal from Ukambani at 1200, they were buying the charcoal that we had at 500 Kenya shillings. Yeah. So put simply, I really did not make any money from the charcoal. In fact, looking back, I would have sold uh, all the logs that I had converted into charcoal as firewood. I would have made some good money. Now, what am I trying to teach you from this? After I was done with this whole nightmare in a way, the mzee who had actually sold me those trees was observing the whole story. Yeah, he was seeing what was happening. And I remember he told me in Kikuyu, wirokare rutirati wako. In Swahili, that means kazi hujifanyii si yako, or in English, work that you're not actually doing for yourself is not yours. Like a job which you're not doing yourself is not yours. And a lot of people will disagree with this fact because you do believe that you can actually hire people and manage them to work for you. This is an idea that has been drilled into our heads that you can simply start a business, employ people, and you won't have to do, maybe you won't have to work. But those words actually ring true till today. It's been like 10 years since it was, I think, 2015 or 2014. So it's 10, 11 years. And I still vividly remember those words. Yeah. Because during that whole process, I wasn't really available, especially during the time that they were actually burning the charcoal. And I also had to rely on a lot of people. And there were so many things that I was not familiar with. Remember, this is my very first time doing anything of that sort. Before that, I really did not even know how to convert like the trees into timber, and also where to sell the timber. This was the very first time, yeah. So I learned a lot. It was also the very first time that I actually maybe cut down trees and turned them into firewood, which I actually sold. I think it was 4 trucks, 4 full trucks of firewood, and the timber wasn't that much, but it was like a really huge production, and I ended up making a loss. I only was able to recoup around 75% of whatever I had invested. Basically, most of the losses were made from charcoal because selling those bags was equally very difficult. I mainly managed to sell, I think, for the very first week, only 20 went. And then the rest actually dragged out for a period of like months. So it was basically a loss. It wasn't a really good investment. But basically, I want to focus on the words that our old man told me. A job that you're not actually doing, or a job that you're not actually managing hands on, is not yours. In a lot of ways, we want to start up a business, put somebody there, and then do something else. That's the idea of a side hustle. The people who want to buy a matatu, employ a driver and a conductor, and be receiving money from the comfort of your home. But what that old man taught me is that is actually not your business. You can say that it is your business, but it is not your business. You have actually started a job for somebody else. You really do not understand the intricacies of that business that you have started, the challenges, the clients, what the clients need, what are some of the complaints that are coming in. I'm not saying that you should be there full time, You really need to understand. I'm not saying that you should 100% be in your place of work where you have started a side hustle. What I'm simply saying is that you really need to spend more time to really understand what is going on. For example, if it was the matatu that we have just discussed, I've seen a lot of people who own matatus wait for their matatus at night to come to a specific place where they may be refueled and also cleaned, and they actually only go back to the house once they make sure that their matatus have been fueled, cleaned. They've maybe done some basic checks just to make sure that everything is all right. Yeah. So they follow up on the vehicles. If the matatus have any issue or any problem, they are the same people who actually go and take them to the garage. They don't entrust the same to the driver. There was a person who was actually telling me that a friend of theirs owns an Uber vehicle, or at least used to own an Uber vehicle. But he gave that vehicle to two drivers. The first one actually, I think, took off the muffler. The other one took off some other part. Now the vehicle is actually at home. It's not operational due to the very many parts that have been taken off. So you really need to ensure that if it's a business that you're starting, if it's a side hustle that you're starting, it's something that you can actually manage or even operate it yourself if need be. You know, it's important to, for example, understand and see, yeah, something that you can operate by yourself, something that you can run, something that you probably understand. For example, you may see doctors opening clinics, yeah, a doctor opening a clinic. So they merely understand what happens in a clinic. This is not something new to them. Yeah. So they're doctors, they do understand. You will also see pharmacists in major hospitals opening up a chemist. This is nothing new to them. They will understand how a chemist operates, they will understand what is needed in a chemist. Yeah. And they can also actually send some of the people they interact with to their clinics or to their pharmacies, sorry, chemists. Yeah. You also see a lot of mechanics opening spare shops. These are jobs that they understand. These are jobs that could perhaps even complement each other. As a teacher, you could probably start a bookshop. This is something that you understand. Yeah. You know what will be needed by the students. Um, when the syllabus is changed, you know. Yeah. This is something that you understand. If you are a chef somewhere, you can maybe start a cafe. It's easier for you. I'm not saying that you would not succeed in any other type of business. I'm just saying that it is easier for you to start a business that you really understand. Yeah. That curve where you're actually growing or where your business is actually growing will be much shorter if you started in a business that you really understand and you really have a passion for. Because you find that a lot of people start businesses because you talked to a friend and they actually told you, hey, hapa kuna do. You can make a very good money from this. So what do? You put in your money. 5, 6 months later, you're closing down your business. There's no money. You're not your friends. You don't know what they do to actually make that money. Yeah. Because they could have some connections to some merchandise that they are selling. They could have some people that they can talk to maybe sell some of the products that they're selling. So a business will mainly depend with you. A side hustle will mainly depend with you. What are you capable of? What are your passions? What you love? Um, and also the amount of money that you typically might have. Yeah, that will also play a part. Let nobody tell you that money doesn't matter. It does. It does. It does. Sometimes being well prepared financially is like the biggest determinant of the success of your business. Yeah, you need money to operate for like 3 months because during that period you probably not be making any money. Yeah, so like that old man told me, I want you to keep it in mind that a job that you're actually not doing for yourself, not your job. That is not your job. If you're opening up a side hustle, make sure it's a job that you can actually do it yourself. If, for example, you are fired from that business, from wherever you're working, is it a job? Is it a place where you can actually go and work comfortably? Is it a business that you can scale up and perhaps leave your current employment to go work there? Is it something that you have a passion for, that you really enjoy doing, that you will keep doing over and over without feeling tired? So these are some of the things that you should consider before you actually start out a business, before you open up that side hustle. Yeah. Now, if you need money for to open up your side hustle, there are very many things or ways that you can do. You've seen people open up or join circles, save money, then get loans. That is one thing that I would um really not encourage. It does work and it does help a lot of people. But if you're really sure, mainly you find loans are good to actually grow a business that you already have, something that you already operate, and you've seen the possibility or the chances of that actually growing into something big. Yeah. So you mainly take up a loan to maybe buy machines, to maybe go into a new location. So you're taking up a loan to actually grow a business that you have already started and seen that it has the possibility of actually growing into something bigger. But if you take up a loan to venture into something new, you might end up regretting for a very long time. Since you find a lot of people take up loans for maybe 5, 10 years. So those will be 5, 10 years of your life that are practically lost, that you can't do anything more unless you actually get maybe promoted and earn more. So I would say that loans are not really good for starting out a business. They are good to grow a business that you have already started and you need to really scale up. A loan is good. To start up a business, you should probably rely on your savings. Yeah? Set money aside over probably a long period of time. And this is where I usually tell people this is one of the advantages of those long-term insurance policies that we usually give them. So these long-term insurance policies do have a return. They do, and a good one. Yeah. These long-term insurance policies also come with protection. So in case you really do not achieve that goal, due to, for example, being that you're not there, you have passed on, the same money will be given to your family. So if you had shared the goals or dreams of actually starting out a business, that money will still be available, or it can be dedicated to something else. Maybe you are the breadwinner and other kids do not have money for school. So that money can probably be dedicated to now go to um, educating your kids, you know? But basically, you can really well use a long-term insurance policy for like 10 years to save up enough cash to start up a side hustle. Because like I told you, it's now been 10 years. 10 years that have been flown by since I started that business. During that period, I wouldn't say that I have really achieved big things. Yes, there are some successes, but if I had taken up a policy then, now I'd have some very good money. 10 years is not a really long time. You can save up for a business that you have in mind, and during that period, you will have enough time to maybe research on the same, yeah, and find out ways which you can actually do that business in a better way. Yeah, because I think most people make losses because we usually feel that if we don't do this right now, this opportunity might be gone. You remember the story about quails there has also been numerous other opportunities that people have ventured into because it seemed like the fad or something that you really think to invest now, you'd be making losses. Those are not good businesses to actually invest in. Yeah. So save up your money for some time, maybe 10 years. At that time, research to find out the best uh, business that would work for you. Research to find out how you would do it. And I can tell you, you really have a side hustle, which you will actually be proud of. Because no matter how much you get, saving for 10 years will give you some decent amount of money that you can use to start up a business. Yeah. So if you have any questions or comments regarding the same, please leave them on the comment section. And you can also get in touch with me using the contacts at the end of this video. And until next time, have a good one. And also thanks for watching.